What if I told you less editing will get you more views? Probably wouldn't have to hire that editor and you could focus on what's more important to you, being your content. What I have here is 3 categories. Depending what niche you're in, you will fall into one of these 3 categories. There's probably more, but these are the more obvious ones. Number 1 is entertainment. This is channels in this category such as Mr. Beast, Airac, those types of channels with really high energy, fast-paced editing. This type of editing is very expensive and is almost maxed out. Every single frame is critical, and every 2 or 3 seconds there is a cut, a sound effect, a transition, some sort of editing effect. This is mostly to keep the audience retention high, but does this work in every single niche? Absolutely not. Now, the reason this kind of category and niche is so fast paced is due to various reasons. Audience age has a big part to play in it. Let's say the majority of Mr. Beast's audience is around about 25 years or younger. Now, around this age, audience retention is really hard to keep. There is a lot of sound effects and visual cues to keep you engaged. Not only your ears, but keeping your eyes engaged as well. And let's face it, the entertainment niche is so large, so the competition is very, very high. Keeping your videos more upbeat and fast paced and keeping that retention high will obviously make you stand out. Now, with this category, they're actually trying to make the videos as long as possible, but as short as possible. So you want to make the videos longer to get more ad placements in, and generally to have a longer video is going to be probably more successful on YouTube, but making it as short as possible so to keep that retention high. You want to deliver the value, but not beat around the bush about it. This often requires a lot of visuals, sound effects, B-roll. This just makes it as fast paced as possible, so you almost lose track of where you are and just get fully immersed into the video. Number 2 is immersion. This category is the most minimalistic editing you will see. It's often just cutting clips together and just that is your video. There's nothing fancy about it and it's just raw. Channels in this category are such as like Sam Sulek, who has had recent popularity just due to the raw nature of his videos, and a bunch of other reasons. He's got an interesting channel and I will be breaking down his channel in a future video. But in this category, take any bushcraft video out there. A lot of them are very minimal editing and you just sit there getting immersed, almost like a fly on the wall, just watching someone do their thing. You don't want any fast cuts or super crazy edits or sound effects going off because it will ruin the immersion. And here's the problem of why I'm making this video. YouTubers out there see videos like Mr. Beast and they think that that's the kind of editing that I need for my videos for them to do well. And not to mention that most videos like you're watching right now, a lot of YouTube tips videos sometimes have quite a fast-paced editing style to them. A lot of fancy B-roll, some animations you've seen even in this video right here. And if you're wanting to jump on YouTube and create your channel, you may be under the illusion that, well, that's the editing that you kind of have to do to compete. But realize that every niche is different. So if you're paralyzed before making your first video thinking that you can't hire an editor on Fiverr because you can't afford it, or you can't just do the editing yourself because it's too complex, and the message of this video is just to say that you might not even need to invest in any editing whatsoever. Sometimes raw footage is so much better than any kind of Mr. Beast style editing. But there's one thing you could do for as little as $15 per video that could literally 10 times your views. But before that, getting on to the 3rd category, which is vlog style. So vlog style is almost a mix of the first 2 categories there, being semi-fast paced with the intro or something to just hook you, and then it kind of flows out into an immersive type of video. These type of videos where you're bonding a little bit more with the creator, maybe going on an adventure or you're being told a story, and it's heavily focused on the creator themselves rather than the value that they're providing or the story that they're telling. Take Ben Morris for example. He's someone who does regular travel videos and you literally are just going on an adventure with him. You don't know what to expect, but you're immersed in it, and typically the edits aren't really that fancy. Start of the video is a little bit more fast paced, but then as it flows through, yeah, you're just almost hanging out with Ben. Doing cuts like this could give off the documentary style feel to the video and just add to that kind of fly on the wall effect. Now with the 3 categories complete, you can hopefully realise which category you fall into, and that editing can often be a small part to play in the success of a video. But always bear in mind that sometimes doing something outside of the norm can provide real great success. Just because a certain niche is doing a certain style of editing, it doesn't mean that you have to conform to to that, you could do something completely opposite and then just stand out compared to everyone else. But back to that tip that I mentioned that could potentially 10 times your views. Now, the editors on Fiverr can charge anywhere from $10 per minute on editing your video, or all the way up to like $100 plus per minute. Now, when you're contemplating a 10-minute video, going anywhere from $100 plus for a video can get quite costly down the road. Now, hopefully you should understand the importance of a hook or the intro of your video. It should be relevant and match the thumbnail, and it should be semi-fast paced and introduce what the video is going to be or what the viewer should expect. Some people have a teaser for the start of their video showing what's coming up in the video, maybe some quite funny moments, or some people just reiterate what the thumbnail and title is, just kind of what the viewer should expect. Now, with hooks being so important, you could jump on Fiverr and just hire an editor for the first 1 minute of your video. And I must stress when I mean it when I say it could 10 times your views. This could be the difference between people staying an extra 3 minutes on average or so throughout your video, and that could be the difference between YouTube pushing your video to hundreds or even thousands of people. You cannot underestimate the value of your thumbnail and your hook. You have to obviously have a valuable kind of payoff at the end, but making sure that people click on your video and get immersed and actually want to watch it all is so critical. So you can go on Fiverr, get an editor for the first 1 minute of your video for $10 to $15. I can guarantee you, if they're doing editing that's better than you can do yourself, you're gonna profit with a return. And I mean a return as in just more views. Now, your hook is very important, and I did mention that it has to relate to your thumbnail. Your thumbnail is equally as important as your hook. So if you want some thumbnail advice, as well as 6 other tips for small creators, then you're gonna wanna watch this video here.